Now, when the police get there, Kendrick's like 6'11", 7 foot, and he's like 280. He don't want to tell nobody his old lady beating up on him. So they show up, and he's like, yeah, ain't nothing going on, ain't nothing to see here. We just having a verbal spat or whatnot. The police give her the keys. They put Kendrick in the car. They take him home in the police car. Right? It's probably going to be the last you hear of this. But we just got through talking about this. This whole domestic violence thing everybody seems to be on. Yeah, no one really seems to be talking about this. In this case.
Well, because it's the other way around. If it was Kendrick Perkins slapping her around,
we got a problem.
They would be talking about that right now during the playoffs. But because it was her, then it ain't a big deal. And then the fact that he diffused the situation himself, they definitely ain't not saying nothing about it.
And I'm not saying, I'm not that it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander situation. But
I feel you.
I'm always going to go back to the thing that Stephen A. Smith got suspended for, the comment that he made that for whatever reason turned into him endorsing domestic violence, which it couldn't have been anything further from that. But whatever, him saying that, him telling the women in his life, his mom and his sister and his aunt, that don't put yourself in these aggressive situations with these dudes. And this is what he's talking about. This man, when you read the entire statement from the, it's on here as a matter of fact, when he says he's trying to get out of the car and she's pulling him back and hitting him. Now, if he turned around, it was like, get your damn hands off me, and karate chop her arm, and then the police show up and she starts showing him this bruise, you're going to swear Kendrick beat the hell out of his old lady. When that ain't what happened. You see what I'm saying? These are the situations that we have to be mindful of, that they do exist. I'm going to tell you guys this. I grew up with a dude, right? That only until just recently we stopped being friends, but that's not the important part of the story. He grew up believing that his dad was a woman beater because he knew a story. He recalled an incident in which his dad actually broke his mom's jaw. So just on the outset, you hear that and like, wait, hold on, what the hell? But later on, as a grown man, he found out from other family members on his mom's side that his mom was a fighting woman. And on the day in question in which his mom's jaw got broken, she was chasing his dad to the point where this man was trying to climb out of a window to get away from her because she wanted to fight. Now, does that excuse this man breaking this woman's jaw? Of course not. But it does put things into a different perspective. Mm-hmm. When you got a man that's trying to jump out of a window to escape a woman.
Keep from fighting a woman, yes.
And she won't let him go. Yeah, that's why I try to stay away from absolutes. When people say, yeah, there's never an excuse for a man to hit a woman. Whatever. You won't hear that come out of my mouth. There's an excuse to hit everyone and anyone. You understand that? Please.
It's a good thing, but I think I told you this before. I mean, my mom taught me growing up, don't you be at school hitting no girls, but if a girl hits you, you got my permission to knock her ass out.
Dude, I remember I hit my dad with that. We'll get back here to these basketball games in a minute. This is the Sports Kings podcast, by the way. I'm Big Mike. The other voice that you hear is Rob Calloway. We're being heard on Spreaker.com. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all the same handle, at Sports Kings Live, and our email is sportskingslive@gmail.com. Yeah, I hit my dad with that. And for those of you who don't know, me and Rob went to the same elementary school back in the day. Shout out to the Chapel Hill Elementary Panthers. A girl you went to school with, matter of fact, a girl named Erica. I won't say her last name, but you know who I'm talking about. I remember we were in Miss Welch's class, and I was like, girl, you better not hit me with that block. This is like third grade. I was like, you better not hit me with that block. And she hit me with the block, and I slapped the urine out of this girl. She started crying. They done sent me to the office. I'm sitting in there. Our principal name was Dr. Bowie. This big, tall, cool dude. Had a 300 Z and a Jerry curl. He always had these suspenders. He was the coolest dude in the world. And he called my daddy. And my dad was sitting up there. He wanted to be mad. He came up there mad. And then when I hit him with this one, You said if somebody hit me, hit them back. Yeah, everybody's face in the room changed immediately. I went from being,
of course it did.
I went from being in so much trouble to damn it, to my dad being so embarrassed, and to Dr. Bowie being like, yeah, well, that's pretty much how it go. Like no one could say anything to this little 8-year-old fat chunky kid who just slapped this girl. No one could say anything anymore. Somebody's gonna hear this and be like, "Oh, he laughing about beating up a girl." Yeah, I was 8. Shut up, idiots.
Yeah.
If that's you, shut up. I was an 8-year-old. She hit me with a block when I told her not to. Damn it, she deserved every bit of it. And I stand
But yeah,
by that.
man, because it was something like that. I think I might have been in about the 4th, 5th grade, probably 4th grade, and this girl pinched me and pinched the skin like.
And twisted it.
Through it. Like I was bleeding.
Damn.
And I went home. My mom was like, what happened to your arm? And I told her, she was like, look. Because, girls get that growth spurt around that 4th grade, 5th grade. They get taller than the boys for a minute. And she said, look, you go to school tomorrow, and she put her hands on you, yeah. You do your best to knock her head off.
Oh, that little girl just liked you, Rob. That's all that was. She just,
nah, man.
Just wanted
Because it wasn't ever like that.
Chocolate.
No, it wasn't ever like that. But yeah, after that, I kind of felt like I had a little. I could,
Yeah. See, that's back in the day when your parents just tell you to do stuff like that, not really understanding the repercussions till after the fact. I was like, oh, I did say that, didn't I? Yes, you did, Dad. And I listened this time. That's when they be like, of all the damn times, this hard-headed little boy choose to listen to me now. Of course, because it's easier to get out of trouble this way. Okay, second game yesterday, Rockets-Clippers, or Clippers at the Rockets last night. This series is now 2-3. The Clippers are. See, I wrote this one backwards. I wrote the other one backwards. I wrote this one backwards. It's 3-2. The Clippers, 3 games over the Rockets. They had a chance to close out yesterday.
What did you say the other day when I think it was the first game the Clippers lost to the Spurs? You were saying you thought the Lakers had got in their uniform.
Stupid.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was one of them kind of deals last night.
Swaggy.
Except I saw DeAndre.
Swaggy showed up. You saw him? I barely saw him. DeAndre had like 3 fouls before anyone could blink. Dude was like, where's DeAndre? He's over there on the bench with Doc. And meanwhile, Dwight got off a little bit. Ended up with what? 20-10. Or I think he had 20. Yeah, 20-10 last night for Dwight. Harden had the flu and did what superstars with the flu do. Perform. Got his first ever playoff triple-double, 26, 11, and 10. They played with so much more energy, the Rockets, than the Clippers, and then Doc Rivers kept referencing it throughout the game, and I hate those things too, by the way. Those little coaches cutouts where they just show these little 15-second pep talks. It's like, what is anyone getting from that? Like, you're not showing me no sets they running or nothing like that, and I don't blame you. They shouldn't. But just to fill some time, they're showing, here's what Doc Rivers had to say to his team. We got to play better.
Come on, guys.
We got to play harder. All right.
They're outplaying us right now, guys. Come on.
I hate those things. It just seems like they're so useless, but I don't know, whatever.
Saw Craig Sager last night, though. Shouts out to Craig.
I saw Craig's old lady last night.
Yes, shouts out to her.
Winning. My man, Craig.
Well, you got to know he'd be winning.
Old, tall, white man Sager. My man. Speaking of guys who are winning and disappointments and things that add nothing, yeah, the whole inside the NBA crew got re-upped. So, yes, I blame you guys for that, too. Shaq is going to be back. God help us all.
You know what? It was kind of refreshing last night to see a fresh group of people out there.
I didn't watch any of that crap. Isaiah and freaking Grant and
Smitty and Bosh.
Chris Paul, Chris Bosh. Yeah, I was good.
Yeah.
I was like, move on. Yeah, I don't need any.
When I turned, I thought, and I ain't gonna lie, when I first turned, I said, "Damn, did they get fired?"
Did they get what? Did they get fired because all 3 of them went there? Oh man, speaking of, and I'll get back to this Clippers thing. I saw this story, man, on, was it 60 Minute Sports? I don't know what I was looking at. They were talking about Ernie Johnson, man, his kid, man, his adopted son. God, man, he has this degenerative disease, man. That he
Ernie Johnson's son.
yeah. That
Okay.
he has. I think Ernie has like 7 kids, and like 4 of them he adopted. But one of them, he's like 28 now, or 20 something now. But they realized early in life he had a disease, a condition, and what it does, I think it eats your muscles from the inside out. It's like real terrible. The kid didn't speak his first word till he was 8, and now like something happened where they had to take him to the hospital, and then they put him on a breathing machine, on a ventilator, thing in his esophagus, I guess, so he can breathe. But now it's like a 24-hour thing. They have to do everything for him. They have to take care of him with everything. And Ernie was talking about, because of his job, thank God for his job. The fact that he got to be downtown till like the late evening, so he gets home even after the West Coast games. He gets home like 3 o'clock in the morning. But then he's like up at 7, and he's got to shave the kid. He's got to bathe him. He's got to take him to the bathroom. He's got to cut his hair. He's got to put his clothes. They got to do everything for him, man. And you see this happening. You see him talking to the kids, like they're talking and having these little minor conversations. And it's like, wow, like you see these guys on TV. My whole overall point, I guess, is that you see these guys on TV, and you kind of just forget sometimes that, well, not forget, but when you realize the stuff that goes on when
They got regular problems.
they're not on TV, that ain't even no regular problem, dude. That's above and
Well,
beyond.
you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's like above and beyond. Yeah. And I was like, it wasn't like initially. It's like that sadness that you see, but then it's like, wow, it's good that, because there's so many. You can probably assume there's so many people who have kids that are in those situations that don't have jobs that afford them the time, nonetheless the resources to be able to take care of the kids, because he wasn't supposed to live past 16. Like they have to physically evacuate his lungs because he's too weak to even cough. So they have this thing attached to his throat, and they have to like pull it out to simulate coughing because he can't do it on his own. Man. I don't know what it may have been 60 Minute Sports on Showtime, but I can't necessarily. It may have been Real Sports. I don't know, But yeah, it came to my mind when I was thinking about this inside the NBA crew and them getting re-upped, their contracts being redone. Anyway, back to the Clippers and the Rockets. Sorry, guys. This series is not one that if you hadn't stayed up to watch it, don't feel like you cheated yourself at all. Like all these games have been blowouts. None of the games have been closer than 16 points. So whatever. And the fact that I said this on Monday, like this is Chris Paul's time. This is when you start to rewrite the narrative and rewrite the story that is Chris Paul, him making it to the Western Conference Finals, and then having this epic matchup, which I believe will still be between he and Steph Curry. This epic point guard matchup between him and the MVP of the league. We're gonna get a chance to rewrite this guy's whole story. And as much as I like to talk about guys getting introduced to fans, to fans who are not necessarily like hardcore NBA fans, but like pay attention during the playoffs. I talk about guys like John Wall and guys like Wesley Matthews, who didn't play during the playoffs, and guys like Damian Lillard and like who else am I always talking about? Guys like Jeff Teague, who should be getting introduced to the general public, but a guy who you're going to get reminded of. Let's say that. Chris Paul. Because you kind of feel like, there's kind of a consensus that Chris Paul kind of like fell off. At one point, it was basically Chris Paul and then every other point guard. But the point guard game has gotten a lot stronger. When you talk about guys like Russ and guys like Steph and guys like Dame Lillard and guys like Mike Conley, the point guard game is strong in the NBA right now. And so you kind of forget, about guys like the Tony Parkers of the world, the Chris Pauls of the world. But now you get a chance to get reintroduced to Chris Paul and who he is. Like, he ain't really fell off that much. He's the best, statistically the best on-ball defender at the point guard position. He's the best mid-range jump shooter by the numbers at the point guard position. I think he has the highest assist-to-turnover ratio at the point guard position.
Top on-ball defender too, right?
Yeah, this year in the NBA. But you kind of fall in love with and I don't blame people. You fall in love with the flash, right? You fall in love with the